YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Sergi J in 4K. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time checking me out, thank you for stopping by, considering hitting that subscribe button and that like button to watch more videos like this. Not as big as some of these other YouTubers, but we're trying to get there. So today's video, I did want to go ahead and go over a few things. I know, with the holidays coming up, we just passed Thanksgiving. We have a lot of you bigger YouTubers and even smaller ones who have been doing their, top gifts, under a certain amount, top gifts for certain categories, things like that. I wanted to actually go ahead and do one on my own. And these are in no particular order. So, again, these aren't rated from best to least best. Just in my opinion, that I can say that it would be a good gift if you have that person who's into tech in your life. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you some of the things that I would consider some of the best tech gifts of 2022. And again, these are going to range from price, from low to semi-high. And again, no particular order. I'm just going to go over them and, just give you a little bit of my thoughts on them. Let's go ahead and let's get into the video. Let's go. All right. Now, I know a lot of you guys have been here for my controller reviews. Well, not a lot of you, but the people who have subbed to the channel, you've been here for the controller reviews. I do thank you for that. But we're going to go ahead and I do have, some gaming stuff we will show. And, just again, this is all personal opinion. Things that, whether it be, for your son, your daughter, boyfriend, girlfriend, parents, things that I would consider as a gift that I'd give to somebody, something that I'd also enjoy receiving from somebody. So let's get into it. So number one, and I know, it's unfortunate. People have still been having a really hard time finding this system. I don't know why. Don't ask me. It makes no sense. But one of the top games of the year, depending on who you talk to, but in my opinion, one of the top games of the year, we have God of War Ragnarok as the first thing I would suggest as a gift. This game just came out. Again, I'm recording this in late November. So this game just came out earlier this month. One of the most anticipated games since they announced the PS5. Also, I've played a few hours of it, and it's a great game. Graphics are awesome. Even if you don't have the PS5, you can buy it on the PS4. If you have it for the PS5, I want to say it goes for $70, $69.99. If you have a PS4, cool. I think same thing goes for $60, excuse me. Now this you should be able to find anywhere. Obviously the consoles, I understand a lot of us are still looking for those. Then you can find, too easily. But with that, number one, again, on the list, we have God of War Ragnarok, one of my top games of 2022. A game that I don't have in physical form because I do play it on the PC as well that I would suggest with this. Modern Warfare 2, excellent game, just came out. Same thing earlier this month. Probably one of my favorite in the series for a very long time. Most of the last games, the story modes haven't been that good. The online multiplayer, have been trash. Modern Warfare 2, not the case. Another game, same thing, same pricing. If next-gen consoles, Xbox Series X, PS5, $60. Last-gen consoles, $60. Or excuse me, $70 for new gen. Last gen is $60. May have gotten those mixed up. Now, number two on the list is something that these, I know, catch a lot of flack because a lot of people aren't Apple users, call it what you want to call it. I myself, I'm an Apple user, so these do come in handy for me. But one of my biggest purchases, as far as something that I waited for a very long time, was the Apple AirPod Pro 2nd gen. My 1st gen, I had those since roughly around the time they came out. Those started to go out. I listen to these every day, basically. I work at an office. As soon as I come in, I'm putting these in. But the good thing with these is that the noise cancellation on these is way better than the 1st gen. Definitely good. After a while, I did notice the battery life on my 1st gens was terrible. They barely would stay charged for a few hours. With these, not the case. Also, one thing that I do find that's pretty cool with these, because I know a lot of us tend to lose small things like this, these actually do have, the ability to track them, and they do have a speaker. I don't know how well that'll pick that up. There you go. It has a speaker on the bottom. That speaker on the bottom actually makes it audible, so where if you do lose it, if you have an iPhone, you can go on the Find My app, and you can pretty much ping it and you can hear it. So if it's somewhere in your house, you can find your headphones. Definitely good. These normally sell for, I want to say, $250. They have been on sale in a lot of places. Obviously, with the holidays, you have a lot of sales. I'm looking right now. I'm on Amazon right now. They're actually on sale for $229. So, you know, if this is something that you've been looking for, picking up for yourself or for, you know, a family member or anybody who listens to a lot of music, now is actually a good time to get them. It's actually very surprising just for the fact that these didn't come out that long ago. They came out in September and they're already on sale. So definitely consider picking up the AirPod Pro 2 for somebody. You know, one of the best AirPods or just Beats wireless pods, in my opinion. For Android users, I don't really have too many options for you guys. Again, I'm not an Android user. I do apologize. These do still work for Android though. So, I mean, consider that. Unfortunately, you just don't get a lot of the Apple features, you know, to where, you know, you remove them from your ears, things like that. Those don't apply if you have an Android, but if you have an iPhone, right up your alley. Number 3, and this I can tell you, I do speak highly of this. Again, this is an Apple product. Android fanboys out there, I'm sorry. Say what you want. My favorite tech purchase of 2022, we have the Apple Watch Ultra. Definitely a great watch. I will tell you, if you do get it for someone, I don't know how hard they are to find. I know when I got this was right around when it came out, so it's pretty difficult to locate or just locate in any stores in stock. But if you do get one of these, do not get the Starlight Band. I don't know how well this will pick it up, but this thing is filthy. The Starlight Band, to me, it looked kind of cool, but I can tell you, again, I work from an office, and I don't do any, you know, dirty work, but this thing is filthy just for wearing it around on just, you know, from day to day. It's just amazing how quickly this got dirty. But if you happen to get one of these, go ahead and, you know, get one of the other colors. The green band is pretty nice. The rubber ones, if you can get those. But this, I can tell you, definitely my best tech purchase of 2022. Battery life on this thing is outstanding. I know a lot of people estimate, and I don't know if they have an actual, like a number on how much time people say you can get with it from in between charges. But with mine, I can tell you I can go in between charges probably almost 2 full days. About 56 hours is probably what I'd estimate it to. I think it's the most I've ever gotten. So yeah, over 2 days there, and then by then, and that includes that I'm doing sleep tracking with it. I use it, you know, going to sleep, so I can do that sleep tracking. Definitely an interesting feature. A lot of the outdoor things, unfortunately, I don't do, so I can't speak to that. Build quality is great on this. You get the titanium case on it, sapphire, you know, on the, I want to say the glass is sapphire, so it doesn't scratch easily. But yeah, again, my number 1 tech purchase of 2022. Again, if you can find one, I know they're still kind of hard to find. It looks like Amazon does have these in stock though. Well, excuse me, I'm looking now. They don't have them in stock on Amazon. They're estimated after the holidays. So check your local retailers, Best Buy, you know, any of your carriers. Runs a little bit on the more expensive side for a Apple Watch. Looks like $779. But in my humble opinion, well worth it. I would spend that money again if I had to get another watch. Of course, you do have the Series 7s and the Series 8s. I mean, the Series 8 didn't really add too much more than the Series 7. So, I mean, if you can find a Series 7 at a good price, go ahead and pick one of those up as well. You know, again, these are only for Apple phones because of the fact that Apple, you know, keeps everything closed loop. You can't use it on Android. Unfortunate, but the best Apple watches, or the best smartwatches, should I say, are these Apple watches. I know a lot of Android fans may not want to hear that, but let's be real. That's what it is. Now, obviously, we are keeping it with iPhone. Another product that I understand is really hard to find because of all the shutdowns that have been going on at the warehouses across the world for Apple. But we have my top phone of the year, the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Great phone. Screen on it is awesome. You finally get the always-on display. You have a 48 megapixel sensor in the main camera here. Excellent, excellent camera. Of course, normally if you're not using the Pro mode, you get 12 megapixels, but even then, those pictures are fantastic. Also, I could tell you, you know, if you're into the ecosystem, it's an easy choice. I mean, everything pretty much syncs up. I have many Apple products, as I've just shown you, but you have, you know, your MacBooks, your iPads, all of those work seamlessly. So if you're in the Apple ecosystem already, there's no easier choice than going with another iPhone. I can't speak on the regular iPhone 14s just because those don't seem like that much of an upgrade to me. But the iPhone 14 Pros, Definitely a worthy upgrade. Of course, my favorite colorway in this case is the deep purple, is what I believe they call it. Awesome. A little more on the more expensive side, obviously. These go for, I want to say, what, $1,200, $1,100 in the Pro version, $1,000 in the Pro Max version, excuse me, $1,000 in the regular Pro version. But definitely my top phone and a great gift if you can find one locally. I understand I was looking at Best Buy earlier today, and I don't see that they have any in stock until like next year. So that's unfortunate. Now going back to gaming, this has been out for a while already, but you know, this still seems to be a very, very popular console. We do have the Nintendo Switch OLED. The screen on this thing is phenomenal. You know, I've had this for about a few months now, you know, when they started becoming more easily available. And this thing is awesome. You know, the game library, definitely have it. Super Smash. The reason I own a Nintendo Switch myself for the Zelda games. Obviously, you have the second Breath of the Wild coming out next year. I want to say March or May, one of those. If you can find one, they looks like they are a lot easier to pick up. Amazon has these in stock. I believe your local Best Buy will probably have these in stock. I go the OLED myself just because the OLED screen is fantastic. Regular screen was never too bad, but this, if you can find this, I mean, definitely go with the OLED. Personal suggestion. These, looking at Amazon's website, $350, $349.99. Same price that it's been since it's released. No sales on these, unfortunately, but they do have these in stock. These will be here before the holiday. So definitely a good suggestion. Again, you have an excellent game library. The games aren't that expensive. You know, you probably have a lot that you could find used. Even then, you may already have a catalog of these games. And again, they're excellent games. Zelda Breath of the Wild, awesome. Super Smash Brothers, awesome. The latest Super Mario game that came out, awesome. No reason why I wouldn't see that you wouldn't want to pick one of these up for yourself or that family member. Now, staying with gaming, one of the reasons that, you know, I've done a lot of YouTube videos recently have been for this product. We have the Scuf Reflex Pro. This is the FPS model. Definitely, if you have that gamer in your life who plays first-person shooters, this is my go-to controller. I can tell you, awesome, awesome. You have the clickiness to it. The rubber is good on these. Myself, I know if you watched my last video where I've done the unboxing and the reviews of this controller, there's a lot of comments there. You may want to read through some of those. Some people have issues with this controller. I have not had any issues with this personally. I use this to game on my PC almost daily, and it's a controller that I swear by. Now again, you know, you have a few other options if you are in the market for one of these. I'm not familiar with those. You have Battle Beaver, you know, you have Hyper, which I know are other companies that make these controllers. I can't speak on their quality. I understand a lot of people back Battle Beaver. If you're a Battle Beaver fan, then you may think I'm crazy for suggesting a Scuf over that. But if not, I can tell you the Scufs, you don't have to as long of a wait time. Battle Beaver, from what I understand, you may have to wait. It may not be here in time for the holidays. So if you have somebody that's been looking for one of these you can get a lot easier now than when they first came out. You do get these on Scuf's website. If you're looking for the Scuf Reflex FPS, it sells for $250. If you have someone that wants a controller with the back paddles on it like this, they don't have to get the FPS. They can get the regular Scuf Reflex. That does sell for cheaper. Let me see what that sells for. $219. Expensive for a controller, yes, but if the person is going to use it a lot, well worth it. Well worth it. There's no, hands down, the best pro controller in my opinion. This is not a sponsored video by Scuf at all. I don't have enough followers to be sponsored by Scuf. But Scuf, if you are watching and you want to sponsor some videos or you want to hook us up with some merch for the fans, go ahead and do so. Now, one thing, if you do have that creator in your life who, you know, works and does a lot of videos kind of like this on YouTube, you know, as a photographer, edits their own pictures. And this is, you know, I can tell you something that I suggest, one of the most overlooked things that people don't really consider too often, but you need a mouse. The mouse that I suggest in this case is going to be the Logitech. This is the MX Master 3S. You can use this on Mac, Windows. You can use it on MacBooks, or excuse me, iPads. You can use it on all of those. Now the cool thing with the newest one is that the buttons, I don't even know if this will pick it up, but you can't even hear them. They don't really have that clickiness to them. They're very, very quiet, so that's awesome. Not necessarily that a loud mouse is bad, but this to me just makes it feel like it's a more premium product. Also with this, you do have, everything designed for, like a creator. You have this pad right here. You can switch between apps. You have this to where you can swipe in between things. The mouse itself is just awesome. Excellent battery life. I only have to recharge this mouse probably like once every 2 to 3 weeks. And even then, sometimes I can go like a month plus without having to charge this thing. Best part about it is the price on this. Price is not even expensive at all. You can get this through all major retailers, Amazon, Best Buy. I don't know if you can get these through Walmart, but if you can, same price. It's $99.99, $100. So if you have that person who is a creator, or even just someone who's getting started, and they're creating, whether it be again videos, photography, things like that, this is a very, very good present to get them. And again, this is one of the most overlooked things that people don't consider when they're shopping for, things. They're mostly just going for laptops, memory cards, things like that. But they don't always consider the mouse. So be that person that gets them a mouse. And I mean, they'll thank you later for this. I can tell you that. Now, looking here, we do have, and I saved this because this is actually the most expensive product here. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, we do have photography things. There's a lot of people that, again, we like to shoot videos, do photography, things like that. You do have a lot of cameras that have come out within the past year and a half. My top camera and this is a beginner, again, not everyone is going to look for the ultra premium cameras. Some people, this may even be a little more premium than they're looking for, but I am a Sony shooter. I do shoot video and photography on Sony cameras. So my top recommendation, if you have that person who is a photographer and has been looking for a new camera, and they're not needing something that's more, not on the basic level, more of something, I would give them, and I would suggest the Sony a7 IV. Fantastic camera, easily available now. When I first got this earlier this year, I could tell you this camera was very, very hard to find because, everything was, with the chip shortage, was, pretty much not available. But this camera is awesome. Autofocus is great on it. The sensor, it's a 33 megapixel sensor. The photos look phenomenal on this. I took this on a trip with me to Aruba and Philadelphia not too long ago. Those pictures came out great. You can crop in still. You can, they have good colors. I know a Canon person may tell you a little different. I can't speak for Canon. I am a Sony shooter. Also with this, you do have, if you have someone that's focusing more on video, this does have the flip out screen for video. It does also shoot 10-bit 422 footage. You can do 4K 60. So, if you want to get that buttery smooth, basically the B-roll, or if you want to do some slow motion stuff, you can do 4K 60 on this camera. It does come in with a little bit of a crop, but it's great because for, the a7 III, which this replaced, it didn't do 4K 60, and it also didn't shoot in 10-bit log, or 10-bit, should I say. So fantastic camera. Definitely consider picking these up for someone if you have that photographer in your life, or if you have someone who's starting to get into doing videos and it's something that they want to go with Sony. My number one reason for suggesting Sony over Canon, myself, this is personal opinion, is just because you do have a lot of different glass available for it. It's not just all first party from just Sony by itself. If you look at Canon's mirrorless cameras, a lot of Canon's mirrorless cameras, I don't think other companies have actually started making lenses for them. Sony has Sony, Sigma, you can do Tamron. There's a bunch of different lenses that you can do. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on glass, and you can still get a quality piece of, a quality lens for not that expensive. So my final present of 2022, or just for the holidays. And again, excellent camera, Sony a7 IV. You can find this, anywhere, any retailer for the most part, Amazon, Best Buy. As I mentioned, it is the most expensive product that I've shown today. It does retail for $2,500. So, I mean, maybe don't pick this up for someone who is just, looking for a travel camera. I'd probably pick this up for someone, again, who is starting into taking photography, also wants to do videos, things like that. Excellent camera. Consider picking that up. Again, Sony a7 IV. Now, my first time doing a video like this, so go ahead and let me know if you like this type of content. I will continue to do more stuff like this. Again, as I mentioned earlier, if this is your first time checking me out and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate that. Until then, guys, it's been your boy Sergi J, and I'm checking out. Have a good one.